Welcome back. Today, we're going to reveal 13 amazing psychological preparations. With these 97% of women's facts, you'll change your mind about because they are unaware of these secrets, global men are routinely turned away. But guess what? By understanding these, you can join the elite 5% of women who truly stand out. Before we get in, keep in mind that these self-disclosures aren't just for men. They can make you attractive and captivating. If you're eager to learn, please quickly do us a favor by clicking the like button. Please give us a call. These secrets enable us to give you more powerful content. If you like this, please click the bell, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our most current videos. If you think Type Z could be better, please leave a comment. Otherwise, let's keep it light-hearted. Straight into these incredible revelations that will alter your understanding of women's psychology and relationships. Fact number: according to a study, women who enjoy smelling could be at risk for, according to Rio, she has a higher chance of falling in love with a man who smells wonderful. At the Federal University of de Janeiro, a woman's attraction to a man can increase if she likes his scent. Males have 50% more neurons than women, so they are up to 85% more sensitive than males. Their olfactory bulb's ability to choose the perfect fragrance could offer you having a significant advantage in beauty. Watch the entire movie to find out which two women-like males are the most psychologically stimulating. Independence and push things too quickly with ladies will probably result in rejection, but she is more likely to build trust if you show her respect and a little neediness. She is open and at ease being touched, but always pay attention. Determine any psychological clues she might be offering you by observing her body language. Number 3. Ladies may or may not experience any emotions in your presence. When a woman catches your eye, remind her not to merely become your friend, according to a study. If women believed they could get together, 68% of them would consider dating a man. Their strategy, thus it's advisable to show your interest at once. If you want to know how to inquire about the 4th psychological fact, do it quietly. Women pre-select males based on research on their interests and other criteria. Shows that a male receives 3 times as much interest from other women. When a man is surrounded by women, he becomes more beautiful. Therefore Going out with your female friends to find out how other women perceive you isn't. Friends don't have to adore you. They just need to give you a pre-election boost that can increase interest in psychological fact number 5 among other women. If a woman constantly makes fun of you and calls you derogatory names because she finds you fascinating, express their feelings. Thus, it's possible that she feels drawn to you and is employing play to gain an advantage. Your confidence by participating in her light-hearted taunting. You can show you're genuine. Do you believe I've aroused your interest in her based on your body language? I know you call me that because you like it. Interest by following instructions and stating the 6th psychological trait, that what women admire about men who are aware of their non-verbal clues is observe their body language and take note of how different women might be from males. Poor F, whether intentionally or inadvertently and unwilling to, they freely express their feelings since they fear rejection and will stop at nothing to prevent it. Individuals can use body language to communicate instead of speaking aloud. Communicate their emotions. If a woman purposefully displays her feelings in a way that desires a reciprocal response from you. If you don't understand her indications, she can say nothing. If you want to discover more about this fascinating psychological strategy based on psychological truth, keep reading. Women are particularly concerned about how they seem in private settings, according to statement number 7. Instead of remaining silent, Give them special attention for their beauty, especially the color and design of their trousers, on how gorgeous she appears during intimate activities by boosting her self-esteem. You'll likely notice that she puts more effort into dressing in stunning and alluring clothing that motivates her psychological factor number 8, to see you again, when a woman feels an emotional bond with a male greater. Sensations. Understanding of the psychological complexity of the female mind can boost her satisfaction with intimate settings, since women are more likely to function via their emotions and sentiments than through physical isolation. You can take your time by being less direct and use sub-communication. Encourage her to express her emotions and ensure that she understands them completely. This tactic can boost her love for you, but always use caution and consideration on the 8th. The fact of process psychology is that women typically give a lot of weight to their pals. Studies show that women might form stronger emotional ties with male partners, sometimes even more so than when a woman breaks up with them. Whenever to see a friend, she usually finds herself more drawn to their friends than to their partners. More at ease and reassured, since she is aware that her friend will offer her non-judgmental emotional support, because sometimes emotional contentment is mistaken for love. Thus, it's best to, because psychological betrayal trails might occur, be cautious about how your partner interacts with her close friends. Some women accept dates primarily because of the complimentary meal. According to American surveys show that 38% of women would agree on a date just to get a free supper. That highlights how important it is to understand why a woman gives her consent. Before asking her out, be sure she's genuinely interested in going out with you. How to gauge her interest is discussed in the comments section below, and I'll provide some guidance near the end of the 11th video. The psychological truth is that women would prefer you if you were if a woman is unhappy with your attention, let her know you are aware of her sentiments and may help her feel better and assist her in comprehending the reasons behind women's increased expressiveness of their feelings, and may not have the same emotional stability as men, even if they are female. They are often attracted to men who are caring and understanding, but they might also fall for people who treat them badly. Sympathetically explain this dynamic in greater detail later, but in the meanwhile, be prepared for further insight into the emotional challenges that women enjoy navigating. Taking into account the first, a 2017 study looked at the psychological elements of fragrance that contrasts jasmine with lavender. Perret study on perfumes for fragrances with a jasmine base significantly increased attention in both men and women. These fragrances are popular among women and can be found in a variety of perfumes, including well-known. Thank you for viewing the complete video, French brands. Please subscribe, and comments on stories that don't make sense usually show a lack of sincerity, as those that are dishonest frequently change their stories to fit different situations or audiences that lead to variations that could later be apparent. However, sincere individuals may overlook little things, but they typically maintain their personal stories, and this disparity in fictional accounts is a deliberate technique employed to persuade or impress others. It can be extremely detrimental, as contradictory narratives in interpersonal and professional relationships make inequities more noticeable. Could erode confidence if you can't rely on someone to be honest about their past. Trusting them with your future in professional settings where discrepancies could create a toxic work environment, where supervisors and co-workers cannot trust one another. Since someone else is incapable of making intelligent choices, extra care must be used. Vigilance isn't about being paranoid. It's about paying attention to their words over time as conflicting behavior patterns may emerge. Instead, It's about protecting yourself from any deceit or manipulation, which is often revealed by confronting narratives and asking for explanation are false, since it may be hard for people to maintain a front. Examining links between individuals with surface-level people who value superficiality tend to have shallow relationships, over depth, making numerous acquaintances rather than meaningful friendships. Relationships like friendships are typically based more on what others can offer than on mutual respect. Sincere connection and superficial relationships are coping mechanisms. Mechanisms in social settings that are characterized by a lack of understanding and depth not invest the time and emotional energy necessary to establish genuine partnerships. Despite knowing many people, their knowledge is usually limited to names and occupations. Descriptions, there is a lack of in-depth discussion of hopes and dreams, or revealing real difficulties in a genuine connection using this relationship style. Basically, the primary motivation for self-centered imposters to interact with others is to improve their social status and gain benefits in their jobs or other fields. They regularly alternate between social groups in pursuit of the most advantageous relationships, disregarding the true value of deeply strong relationships that provide comfort in difficult times and joy. Unfortunately, these tenuous ties can occasionally have a detrimental effect on the being surrounded by dishonest people, may cause those who develop them to feel being used and underappreciated might result in a lonely existence devoid of genuine companionship. And support someone may be surrounded by many people, but fail to establish a genuine connection with any of them. Superficiality. Observe how individuals discuss their relationships. Do they simply think about what other people can do? Accomplish by frequently switching social circles and using excessive flattery, which is another indication that it can be deceptive. Sincere intentions, or cultivate a fictitious sense of confidence in both personal and professional situations that could be used as a ruse to gain favor or deflect attention from a lack of aptitude or commitment at work, increases the likelihood of unnecessarily complimenting others, encouraging lying and manipulation, fostering an environment in which false assertions are. People who frequently utilize flattery frequently discover that it takes precedence over genuine talent and effort. It is challenging to be sincere in other areas of their relationships, since they are transactional rather than reciprocal in their everyday life, leading to a narrow social circle where people are valued more for their abilities than the capacity of their people to distinguish genuine appreciation from flattery is. In order to navigate such deception, genuine compliments are particular and crucial. Unlike flattery, which is given without expecting anything in return, valuing genuine achievements or attributes tends to be unclear, exaggerated, or unrelated to real accomplishments. In comprehending these differences can help detect people who use too nice words as a way to hide their lack of empathy. And another major issue with dishonest people is their manipulation and lack of empathy. Sometimes exhibit a profound lack of genuine concern and regard for others is a significant red flag, because those who lack or are reluctant to understand others often focus only on their personal goals and desires. A lack of empathy can take many forms, such as a lack of concern for the hardships of others or an inability to identify. Although truly value their achievements, these individuals may overlook the mental well-being of folks in their immediate vicinity or refuse to offer aid under dire circumstances. A lack of empathy may lead to destructive or deceptive behavior because the person has a tendency to not care about or think about how their activities influence other people, particularly detrimental to relationships in both the personal and professional spheres, since it can. The development of extremely significant relationships may result in one-sided partnerships where the desires and, in the workplace, people's feelings are usually ignored or undervalued. surroundings, it could foster a hostile and unsatisfactory climate that makes co-workers and employees feel underappreciated, which is misconstrued as a lack of empathy based on how individuals react in a do they show genuine concern in a range of situations when others are UPS, that is distressed, or do they express that they can appreciate the answers to these questions without concentrating on their own achievements, can show patience and empathy in difficult situations, and help determine if a person lacks empathy, which is a requirement for genuine and healthy interactions. Some people use behavior manipulation as a strategy to influence or control others for their own gain, often at the expense of their own well-being and the independence of others around them. Might range from intentional exploitation to deceit to minor emotional ulatas, typically use tactics like coercion and have a solid grasp of human psychology. Flattery, shame, or dishonesty to achieve their objectives. This type of manipulation can be particularly dangerous since it often goes undetected until significant harm is done. Victims may feel confused, guilty, or even held accountable for when someone manipulates others in a partnership, it can lead to a poisonous dynamic in which an individual is constantly under pressure to meet the requirements or expectations of others, which could lead to a decline in self-esteem, in recognizing and treating emotional distress and anxiety in handling. In order to maintain good esteem and authenticity in professional settings, dishonest behavior is crucial. Understanding these tactics and putting precautions in place can help strengthen ties based on justice. Whether it's genuine understanding and mutual regard, some friends only appear when things are going well and disappear when they are not. Recommends a friend or colleague who is just interested in the good aspects of a connection, not the challenges. These people are eager to celebrate successes and joyous occasions, but they are noticeably silent when confronted with hardship. This behavior not only causes them to be absent, but it also gives people who frequently disappear a false sense of dependability. Breach the confidence that their desertion and lack of assistance in relationships can. Feeling abandoned by friends, family, and co-workers caused feelings of abandonment. Feeling loneliness and betrayal because the partnership was built on positive situations rather than sincere commitment on a professional level. It could disrupt team dynamics and impede progress, because these individuals don't lend a hand when things get difficult, or finding such individuals can be unpleasant. So it's important to keep a close eye on their behaviors over time. Look at those who remain trustworthy and loyal despite difficult situations. Promises are regularly broken by dishonest people, not only during prosperous or happy times. Promises they don't intend to keep demonstrates a lack of dependability and honesty, so making a promise is, essentially, it is insulting to oneself and the recipient. To make a relationships built on commitment are destroyed when commitment is broken. Damages trust. Acknowledging and fixing this problem is the cornerstone of behavior that breaks commitments, is essential to maintaining sincere and healthy partnerships. Whether they be business or emotional commitments that are routinely broken, have consequences that extend beyond interpersonal disappointment. Promises made in interactions can lead to a drop in credibility and respect, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and uneasiness caused by emotional distress, can be detrimental to one's reputation at work, jeopardizes opportunities for promotion, and strains relationships with co-workers. Vital to deal with people who frequently breach their commitments in order to establish clearly defined expectations and boundaries are necessary to hold people accountable for their commitments. Method may lead to behavioral changes and assist in self-defense from the harmful consequences of unreliability. Thus, it's also essential to avoid relying too much on their universe's promises. Instead, concentrate on, for dishonest people, self-promotion never stops. They constantly seek attention, are egocentric, and often exaggerate their achievements out of a strong need for excessive self-promotion, and respect stem from approbation rather than genuine confidence or a strong sense of self. These individuals typically possess an inflated sense of significance and belief that they should always receive praise and given credit for their actions, which could cause distress in their relationships with others. It could cause imbalance in both personal and professional contexts if one person's demands and accomplishments take precedence over the careers of others. Establish a toxic environment where collaboration and one person's motivation to stand out at all costs, the group's capacity to collaborate and recognize excessive self-promotion involves observing how people frequently discuss themselves and their accomplishments. Do they embellish or fabricate information to make them seem more noteworthy or successful? Control discussions. These tendencies may indicate self-promotion, and it's helpful to believe your intuition despite inauthenticity and untrustworthy intuition. Nobody can consistently recognize the trueness of our intuitions. Detect subtle hints and inconsistencies before our conscious mind can fully understand them, but as they may be influenced by preconceptions and previous experiences, instincts aren't always trustworthy, even if it's important to mix trusting your instincts with using reason and observation. If you suspect someone is dishonest, take a step back and sincerely observe their behavior in search of patterns and evidence that either prove or disprove that using intuition will help you become. In conclusion, being more cognizant of your biases and self-awareness is a useful instrument that you should practice and rely on while assessing the sincerity of. They should be used in conjunction with observation and logical reasoning to help those in our local surroundings. A more precise and advanced understanding of the people we interact with, allowing us to produce more genuine and important comprehension of non-relationship inauthenticity, vital as we navigate the intricacies of human interactions. Genuine connections require both important IC features that were discovered through inconsistencies were explored by awareness and insight. Their stories reveal the true nature of each individual in our lives. Evidence that suggests they are not trustworthy voyage, but the search doesn't end here. Our channel aims to provide you with ongoing knowledge and information to help you understand human interactions and behavior. Join a community focused on genuine and intimate development. Don't let this mark the end of your existence, and keep living. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and let us know if you found these ideas useful. Subscribe for more enlightening content, then share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Let's get started. Keep in mind your intuition and work. Your story may show others the way to clarity. The key to a good partnership is working together to make the world more authentic. Is your compass and openness to learning come along on this continuous? By signing up and sharing your subscriptions, you allow us to explore and have adventures, reach a larger audience, and spread knowledge that can change people's lives. Thank you for watching. That in a world full of fakery, your sincerity is your greatest asset. The more you embrace and nurture truth, the more your relationships will thrive in its light. Suffering, even though it doesn't always happen, therefore some people would want to hurt. Unfortunately, it's not unusual for someone to like or contribute to your anguish. Jealousy and sadism might hinder your personal growth in a number of ways. Of situations, including families and social circles at work. Therefore, learning to you can become stronger by hiding your defects, much like a tree in a storm with its trunk remaining firmly in place, while this movie will look at the symbolism of the flapping branches and leaves. You may be familiar with the famous philosopher Epicurus, who embodies silent resilience. Created 17 Stoic commandments that also help you become more self-aware. when the road is illuminated by the quiet light rather than the thunderous roar. The first rule is to be prepared. Focus on the knowledge rather than the daily tasks. For failure, as in accordance with Epictetus' advancement, it's the only path to accord. Trying the unattainable and getting called a fool is an opportunity to get better, instead of a setback, since it enables you to remember what the Stoic philosopher says. Believe much trial and error is the path to true career progress. Process rather than a quick fix to improve what makes us special. The second rule and excellence are attained via trial and error, is to remember that death is ultimately not a piece of advice that serves as a reminder of where all of our efforts ultimately go, rather than encouraging pessimism. Death. Consider if it's worth spending 20 years of our meager savings on a house that keeps us bound, and we would benefit from maintaining a small journal. With this viewpoint, combines Stoic concepts with everyday necessities like toothbrushes, credit cards, and phones. Allows us to see challenges as opportunities to reassess our goals rather than as bad luck. The third guideline of time management is to listen twice, regardless of what you say. There is a clear reason why nature gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Therefore, rather than listening to ourselves talk, we should focus on learning from others. Start today by paying closer attention to what other people are saying. The fourth rule is to prepare for anything, even the worst remarks, and accept that we will experience unfavorable circumstances while fretting about potential problems like, due to our kids' subpar work, job loss, or divorce. Epictetus provides a dramatic yet workable remedy for ongoing stress that all of your worries have previously achieved. This tactic, which bolsters your spirit. The sixth guideline is to create coping strategies to move forward honorably while being aware of the risks that luck may present. Unexpected embarrassment and change people's behavior. Once we get affluent, we might discover that shame frequently plagues us and that we must fight with guilt that can spread like a virus to our souls. Makes us assign blame to ourselves or others. The wisest course of action is to watch and embrace responsibility rather of caving in to guilt pressure, as per the sixth rule of Epictetus asserts that genuine prosperity can be found. Rather than grumbling about what we don't have or bemoaning what we lack, joy comes in a contented spirit. We are prevented from embracing this mindset by not appreciating what we already have. And appreciating our current gifts enables us to find happiness that surpasses what A's can be observed. The seventh guideline is to cultivate humility in order to truly. The philosophy of Epictetus exhorts us to be humble every day. Believe genuine learning happens when we acknowledge our ignorance and avoid getting arrogant about our beliefs. Conscious that awareness of ignorance and knowledge leads to true knowledge, admitting our own ignorance and approaching learning with the awe and curiosity of a kid, realizing that it's crucial to always learn new things, because your destiny is dictated by your. Despite the fact that we have little control over our own reactions, they are very significant fate. We do have some control over how things work out. We can control how we respond to. Unfortunately, it's more about how things happen than it is about the actual events themselves. In response, this perspective encourages self-directed progress. Rule 10. Form alliances with positive people and exercise caution, much as we would while avoiding physical. Steer clear of bad influences and surround oneself with upbeat, motivating people, while effects can diminish our energy and lower our mood. But good effects can rule 11 of spirits for mental health, invests in simplicity in a world where stressing over wealth and extravagance can be successfully offset by. Maintaining simplicity requires ongoing maintenance, which can be costly. Choosing a simple lifestyle will reduce stress associated with financial obligations and help you concentrate on what Rule 12 is all about. Complete your work diligently as soon as possible. We must diligently perform our duties every day as the sun rises. Without seeking praise, rely on your commitment to completing tasks regardless of external recognition. This tactic ensures that we carry out our obligations and contribute. Rule 13. Quit contemplating things that significantly affect our surroundings. Pay attention to the things that you can influence with your thoughts and actions. Instead of worrying about events that are beyond your control, instead of the things that you cannot control, by letting go of concerns about your ability to utilize your reputation or accomplishment to support the growth of your principles and take care of what you can control. Rule 14. Spend your time and energy with people you don't like. Those who despise or condemn you for who you are more powerful than their negativity, since you maintain authority over your own by not allowing their opinions to affect your emotional condition at the age of 15. And a focus on personal growth are generated from it is your responsibility to determine the good things that can come out of every situation, no matter how challenging, be an opportunity for growth if seen with the right mindset, instead of, when things don't work out as planned, give up and look for ways to change them. Into prospects for the progress rule. 16. Remain in command of your responses. Encouraging other people's viewpoints and allowing common ideas to annoy you is to give up power over your life by refusing to react to negativity. Your emotional balance prevents others from unduly affecting your happiness. Rule 17. Put friendships before money, since genuine connections are an indication of genuine relationships, are fostered by true prosperity buddies who provide support and encouragement. With worth that goes beyond financial possessions, partnerships are a long-term investment that improves your quality of life and delivers the timeless wisdom of Epicus, offers stability during difficult times, and invaluable guidance on leading a more. I hope you learned to live a robust and meaningful life by internalizing these concepts. We may confront life's problems with grace and purpose. Tell us which of the wise advice in epic title most struck a chord with you when I read about. If you're new to the channel, please like and share your first-hand experiences with these ideas in the comments box below. Additionally, please remember to select the notification button to subscribe to each and every remark. Bell will be informed as we continue to offer useful information. Thank you. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you'll soon implement these suggestions daily for a more fulfilling and strong journey